Welcome to Haaretz.com. I'm Aimee Amiga. The siege on a Sydney cafe ended Monday night in a shootout between Australian police and a self-styled Muslim cleric. 2 hostages were killed in the incident, as well as the gunman. Joining me from Sydney, Australia, is Haaretz's Australian correspondent, Dan Goldberg. Thanks for being with us, Dan.
Thanks for having me.
So what's the atmosphere like in Sydney the day after this incident, when Australians woke up to hear that 2 hostages had been killed?
Look, it's surreal and subdued today, partly because everybody went to bed at 10, 11, 12 o'clock last night, hoping and praying that things would be all right. The siege ran for 15 hours until 2 o'clock this morning. And of course, people woke up with the terrible news that people had lost their lives. Flags are at half-mast. The city's fairly empty, and everybody this morning, myself included, we are a cafe-latte society like Tel Aviv. We went to get our coffees this morning, and I could see around the cafe I was in, people were visibly shaken. We are not used to such a random attack, and I think it's slowly dawning on people that this could be the beginning of a new era.
The Australian authorities, as well as the media, are reluctant to describe this as a terror attack. Why is that?
The political authorities are playing a very, very sensitive game with the Islamic community, because there is a deep undercurrent of Islamophobia in this country. We have had race riots here in 2005. We had a riot on a beach between white people and the Muslim community largely. And so the government is very, very careful with its language and doesn't want to trigger more unrest within Australia's society. We pride ourselves on being a multicultural society. And the government also wants to build close bridges with the moderate Islamic leaders whilst shunning extremist elements.
Australians have responded to fears of an Islamophobic backlash with an overwhelming campaign of solidarity with the I'll Ride With You hashtag. How does the Jewish Australian community feel about this, given they weren't awarded such sensitivity or solidarity during Israel's recent war with Gaza?
I don't think you can compare the two. The Hamas war with Gaza was a deeply political war. Our government here is extremely pro-Israel, arguably the most pro-Israel government in the world, even above Canada. And obviously the Israel-Hamas war created deep divisions within Australian society. Today, Australia feels united. Jews included are paying their respects, are waking up to the dawn of a new reality. One of the most senior rabbis in Sydney, Levi Wolf, who runs the biggest congregation in the city, was seen with his Chanukiah standing outside the scene of the crime, paying his respects. Another senior leader was there laying a wreath. There have been messages of support from the Executive Council of Australian Jewry and from all walks of Jewish life. So I think the Jewish community is entirely in solidarity with the rest of Australia, shocked and deeply saddened by this traumatic event.
The Jewish community went on lockdown, both the schools and on institutions across the nation during this incident. Do you think that was an overreaction?
I don't think so, and I think it's what the majority of the Jewish community would have expected. We have a community security group who runs our security. I think we've been on high alert since 9/11, and certainly since the Valley bombings in 2002, when 88 Australians were killed, and we've had several attacks on the Jewish community. I mean, most recently there was a group of thugs who terrorized kids on a Jewish school bus. We had 5 Orthodox Jews physically assaulted last year at Shabbat dinner in Bondi. There's a heightened sense of concern within the Jewish community, and I don't think it was an overreaction, because we are slowly but surely getting used to the idea that the lucky country, even though it was coined back in the 60s as a pejorative term, the lucky country is slowly coming to an end, and some Jews here used to call Australia, not America, the Golden Medina, but that dream too may slowly be disappearing.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining us, Dan Goldberg.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Aimee Amiga, and you're on Haaretz.com.